Welcome back, Merc fam. Thank you for tuning in to episode 6 of our 31 Days of Halloween challenge. In today's episode, we're gonna be speaking on a really good horror movie, something real spooky, alright? It's called The Ring. But before we get into this awesome, scary review, I want to make sure that everybody likes, subscribes, taps the notification bell. Just want to make sure that every day I post a new video, you guys are 100% aware of it, alright? I've been getting a lot of requests, and I don't want anyone to miss out on the movie that they put in for, alright? But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about this real classic movie called The Ring. Now, I'm sure that everyone out there knows about this movie, alright? It stars Naomi Watts, and she's pretty much this journalist who is doing an investigation, trying to figure out what's going on with this tape that once you watch it, you die 7 days later. This movie is responsible for introducing a whole new genre to me and my friends, and it is Japanese horror movies. The Ring is actually a derived movie from a classic Japanese movie. It was actually a book, a novel published in 1991, but this version of this movie is more or less a westernized or American way of translating what happened in that movie into this one. Some of you are today years old when you found out that this was actually a remake, right? The first one was called Ring U, and they had a Ring U 2 and so forth and so on, but I don't want to talk about those. This film has a very special spot in my memory bank. I remember going to the movies, watching it with a good friend of mine named CJ. This guy, you could dare him to do anything, and he was fearless, but when we walked into that movie and we saw The Ring, he literally jumped up and got the hell up out of there mid-movie. Now, where I'm from, on a Friday night, the teenagers run the movie theater. People be smoking, throwing shit at the theater, throwing shit at other people. It's chaos. But I literally remember the environment going into this movie, and it was so scary. It was very quiet. Nobody was causing any kind of mayhem this night. So the movie really follows this reporter played by Naomi Watts, and what she's trying to do is investigate this phenomenon going on with a VHS tape. And when people watch it, they receive a phone call from some strange and anonymous young lady telling them that they're going to die in 7 days. Not only would you just die, but you are left in this petrified state, like your face is like frozen in this very disgusting way, and that face used to haunt me. There are a lot of differences between the original Japanese version and this one. What this movie focused on, opposed to the original Japanese version, was that they put more emphasis on the main lady. Not only was the tone in this movie built around anguish and sadness, but the way it was shot was absolutely superb. A lot of good angles, and the musical score matched it 100%. I think one of the really scary parts in this movie is when you actually get to see the tape. The way that it flashes these very random and disgusting scenes used to leave me feeling real cringy, like it would be a bowl of cut off fingers or some sort of dead animal with maggots crawling all over it, and it was just zoomed in very far, and it just really put a knot in my stomach. Literally, I could not stand watching this movie, and I was afraid to answer the phone after this movie too, because it was like back then we had house phones. It wasn't even a cell phone thing, so I know you guys remember the house phone days, and you watch this movie and it rings and you're like, oh god. But the villain in this movie, the young girl Samara, goes through so much in her little life, and that's what the main character is just trying to figure out, why she's doing this and what happened to her. And the way that the movie goes down this rabbit hole to ultimately figure out what happened and what's wrong for it not to change shit was a real big twist back in the day, man. You would have expected them to kind of find the body, bury her, set her at peace, but no, at the end of it all, you find out that Samara really wants to be out there jumping through people's TVs, calling them on the phone collect, and telling them they're gonna die. After this movie, of course, there were a couple copycat films like The Grudge, where they kind of based this whole idea off of this Japanese haunted house or haunted person or haunted videotape. And like I said, this is a whole new genre that I was not aware of, and since then, I have watched many Asian horror films, alright? I actually have another Asian horror film that I'm gonna be doing this month that you guys are gonna absolutely love. It's actually in a foreign language. You gotta read the subtitles. I'm not gonna talk about it too much, but you guys are gonna love it. I can't wait to review it. At the end of the day, this movie had me jumping out of my seat, having nightmares, and looking over every corner and trying to make sure that I don't answer the wrong phone calls. I really love this movie, and so did the critics and a lot of other fanatics out there. Not only did this movie start off in a bunch of copycats that branched off doing a lot of things, kind of like in Scary Movie, where Damon Wayans was making fun of Scream and The Ring and all these other things. What do you guys think of this movie review? Have you seen The Ring, and what do you think about it? If you're someone out there who has not watched this very scary movie, go ahead, download it, rent it, stream it, however you gotta do it. Take this opportunity, heed my warning. You will be frightened watching this movie. What did you guys think of this review? Did you hate it? Did you like it? Did you love it? Only way that I'm gonna know is if you guys jump in my comments and we have a full-on discussion. I'm really excited for tomorrow. It's gonna be a week straight that I have dropped a video every day, and I actually dropped 2 videos on Monday, one for Venom in my first day of my 31 days of Halloween challenge. But you already know what it is. It's your boy Merc. It's been a pleasure, but I'm out.
When I take the wheel, it's going out of control. I ain't got a flex, but my money swole. I'm flying real life, nigga, not just pose. Hands down, I'm the man now. You better do your research before I air it out. I'm smoking on reefer and it's very loud.